I just remember when they were rushing me off to the ward, like saying my last prayers. Like I literally thought like I was a goner because to me it didn't make sense. Like why am I bleeding? He's made his travels, and then obviously he's gone to Pakistan, and then the next day I'm seeing someone blow up my line, and I'm thinking.
The next day?
He died the first day he got to Pakistan.
Welcome to Off the Record, a platform for individuals to speak their truth, discuss their thoughts, and own their stories. We will be having candid conversation, dissecting various events, asking the questions we're all eager to know, and hopefully coming to graceful conclusions. I am your host, Mide, the one and only. Let's get into it. Today, we are joined by a very, very special guest, someone very near and dear to me, and she will be finally telling her story on her tragic loss, grief, and her perseverance. Welcome to the show, Edith Williams. Hello, girl.
How are you?
I'm good, baby. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You're looking sweet as usual.
Thank you. So are you?
Thank you, thank you. How was your journey in?
It was good.
Yeah? Did you come from far?
Yeah, I live far.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get started, tell us a little bit about Edith.
So my name's Edith Williams. I'm a makeup artist.
You're the baddest. Don't just say it like that. Don't just introduce yourself like she's the baddest makeup artist.
I don't know how to like
Gash yourself
gas
up.
herself
Let
up.
me do it.
Yeah.
This is Edith Williams. She is the baddest international MUA that there is. Book her. Don't play.
Period.
She is a full-time baddie.
Thank you.
Hello. You are looking
Oh, thank you.
10 out of 10. You're just doing
I
it
had to match
easy
your
as well.
energy, sis.
I mean,
I knew you was gonna
thank
come
you,
and give
thank
them,
you.
so I had to give
this
them
is what I
too.
like to see. This is what I like to see. And she's a mummy.
Yeah.
Like, just
My little baba.
slaying every day as a full-time baddie and mum. Yeah. But yeah, so like, how did you get into being an MUA and all of that kind of stuff?
Do you know what? Surprisingly, like I was like the biggest tomboy.
Really?
Back in the day, like anyone who knows me from way back, they'll be like, I can't believe this is a job that you're doing. Because yeah, I was just like very boyish. Like, but truth be told, the reason why I got into makeup is because of money. So when I was working in retail, like the makeup counter was offering more money. So that's the only reason why like I applied for the job. And when I got the job, like by force, I had to kind of do makeup. And I realized I was actually quite good at it. But I was always good at art. So even though I was like a tomboy, it's like I transitioned my passion for art into doing makeup. So I just feel like I'm painting. That's why I even call myself artistry as well. And I enjoy it. Like, I love it.
And you slay it.
Thank
you do an amazing job.
Thank you.
Amazing job. So obviously we're here to talk about your story, about everything that you've been through and how you've kind of like come out on the other side. But before we get started, like I remember when I used to follow you, well, I still follow you on Snap, but like when I used to see you and Martin together doing your couple snaps, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I want to be like y'all. Like you lot always used to go on holidays and have so much fun together, date nights where you're matching each other's outfits and stuff. It was mwah. What was that like, being the it couple?
Do you know what? I loved every second of it. Like, it's so funny because me and him are not really like initially the social media type like that, but we quickly transitioned into it together, and it was just fun. He was like my best friend. Like he was literally me, but the like male version, and I was like literally like him, but the female version.
You could see the chemistry through the camera. Like,
and I just thought he was so sexy. Like,
I mean, I can't speak on that, but you know, y'all look good together.
Yeah, like he was just so my type, so I was just so into him.
Yeah, how long were you guys together for?
7 years.
7 years. Wow, that's a long relationship to
Yeah.
like invest in. So what did it feel like being the it couple? Because you
know
guys
what?
used to get so much love.
We did, but it's almost like because we were so similar, we butt heads as well. Like, so sometimes like on social media, it's not always what it seems. Like we could be toxic at times as well. Do you know what I mean? Like it was definitely like a roller coaster, but it's just how we got through it. We would always find ourselves back with each other, if that made sense. But we definitely had fun. Like we went out, we did lifestyle together. So it was nice that I could have like somebody that's similar to me, but it's also like my lover, and like we're having fun together.
Where did you guys meet?
He moved to me twice. The first time I didn't want to know. The second time I was just like, actually, you're a bit of me.
Why do you want to know the first time?
Oh, because I was just like over men at that
Okay.
point when I saw him.
Fairs.
And then the second time I was just like, I must not have seen your face back then, boy, because ooh.
How old were you when you guys started going out?
I hate talking about this because he lied about his age.
Really?
He lied about his age.
He was a bit younger than you, wasn't
mean,
he? Girl, the young boys, the young guys.
Yeah. I think I was 23 and he was 21. Okay. But I didn't know that at the time. If I had known that, I would never have
dated him.
No, absolutely not.
So you wouldn't date a younger guy?
Nope.
Even now? Girl, let me not lie. The young guys.
I heard.
They're cute. They're cute. Knowing that you were an it couple, was that your aim? Was you trying to like be that it couple?
I felt like it grew into that.
Okay.
So like I said, like initially we weren't really the type. And then when we saw how much love we got, like we would go everywhere together and people like would compliment us, and people would just be like, wow, you guys really suit. And then obviously we always used to get loads of reposts like on social media, so we kind of like fed into it, if that makes sense. And naturally it was just like, okay, this is what we're doing then.
So obviously things were amazing between you guys on social media, everything was going well until 2020. Tell us about what happened in 2020.
So the beginning of 2020 I found out that I was pregnant. So we had a conversation, we were just like, okay, like things need to like, because we live together, but we're just like, things need to get serious now, you know.
Were you guys sorry to interrupt, were you guys living together at the time of you finding out you were pregnant? Okay.
Yeah. So we was living together, and once we had a conversation, okay, like things are about to change, like we're transitioning into being a family now, so all of this toxic behavior has to go out the window and things like that. So I felt like that whole year, he transitioned into like beast mode. He was like trying to hustle, you know. I don't know if it's a thing for guys, but they just, once they hear that they're about to have a child, it's almost like the drive for money is just on their mind, do you know what I mean? I guess they want to try and start putting things into place. That was the situation with us. He was like hustling, you know, and it was the height of COVID. So a lot of the times I felt like when I went to hospital appointments, it was only just ever me because they wouldn't allow him. They would say that you have to come by yourself. So it was definitely difficult because I felt like I was dealing with this pregnancy alone, if that makes sense. Like, because they're not like trying to involve anyone else, it's just me. So anyways, he kind of got used to that. So because he kind of got used to not coming to like my appointments and stuff, he would like just be out hustling, which is very understandable. So I was meant to give birth in December of that year, but I ended up having a baby 2 months early. Oh, wow. He was premature, and that's because I caught COVID.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
While you were pregnant? What was that like?
Do you know what? I didn't feel the symptoms. And the reason why I found out I got COVID, let me take you back. So there was one day I was just at home and I felt liquid like gushing down. So I'm assuming, oh, my water's broke. But like I said, it was like I was 7 months. So I'm thinking it's a bit early, but these things happen. So I've gone to the toilet and when I've checked, it was blood. And it was a lot of it. Like it was trickling down. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like I think I'm having a miscarriage. But I couldn't even panic at that point. Like at that point I had to just call 111. You know, they told me what to do and that they'll come and get me. And I was by myself as well, so no one was around. I obviously called him to tell him that this was happening. I'm going out to the hospital and he was like, okay, he'll meet me there. So they rushed me to the hospital. Obviously they checked to see if like baby has sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Take your time, it's fine.
Okay.
Take your time.
Oh. So they checked baby's heartbeat and like, you know, luckily
he was
fine. But obviously they said they're going to keep me in there for longer because I'm bleeding. Like that's not normal. So they ran all these tests. They couldn't find anything. And the only thing that they can detect was that I had COVID. So they were like, because of that, they're going to keep me in. But they cannot say for sure that what I'm going through or the symptoms that I'm facing is due to COVID, because there wasn't enough research done to prove that was to prove that that's the effect that it could have on like a pregnant lady, right? So, but for me, in my mind, it's just like, well, it is COVID, because if there's nothing else you've detected and that's the only thing, then it must have triggered something. So I was there for like 2 weeks, in hospital for 2 weeks, and the blood never stopped. So it got to a point where after
was it
2
at the
weeks,
same intensity?
yeah, and then so there was one day where it just started gushing out even more. So at this point, it's panic. So they're just like, we're gonna have to do an emergency C-section, but they had to put me to sleep and everything. So that's how like much of a panic it was, that they couldn't even like have me awake for it. They had to put me to sleep. And I just remember when they were rushing me off to the ward, me like saying my last prayers, like I literally thought like I was a goner, because to me it didn't make sense. Like, why am I bleeding? So yeah, I thought I'd done my last prayer, and I was just like, God, please, if you can't save me, save my baby.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, thank God you're both here. That is heavy.
And there was like a nurse that was there, and luckily she knew me off social media. So she was just like, oh my gosh, Edith. And I was just like, what's the chances that I see somebody that knows me from social media that works at the hospital? So she was just like, don't worry, I'm gonna call Martin for you. I'm gonna tell him like what's happening. Because I wasn't allowed to have anyone, but because it was so serious, she just made it happen. I don't remember anything. All I know is that I woke up and Martin was next to me, and I was shivering. I asked about the baby. He was just like, baby's here, but I couldn't hear him, and I dozed off many times. And then by the time like I was actually like awake, that's when he told me that the baby's here, but the baby's in an incubator, because obviously
It's premature, yeah.
it's premature. And then he also told me that the doctor said that we have to isolate, so I can't even see baby until 14 days because I had COVID. Yeah. So
what was that like?
Imagine thinking you're about to die, having a baby, and not knowing what my baby looks like. Oh my God. I did not know what my baby looked like for 14 days. And it's crazy because he never got to...
Edith.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Do you need tissue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. I thought I was a gangster. I thought I was a gangster. Damn it.
Didn't expect it to be this, the tears to come this early, girl. You got to be, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry.
No.
I don't want to cry.
Don't.
Wow.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
This is a lot. Need a minute?
Yeah.
No, take your time.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're gonna walk in and carry on. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah. Sorry about that, babe.
Don't apologise.
Do you know what? It's just, I haven't spoken about it in so long. So.
Yeah. Honestly, take your time. Whatever you need to do, however you need to get it out, it's fine. Like, don't feel any type of way. I'm going at your pace.
Yeah. Okay.
So you were saying 14 days you didn't see your son.
Yeah, so didn't get to see baby for 14 days. They said I have to isolate. So I asked Martin, did you see the baby? He was just like, yeah, but through an incubator. So I was like, what, so you never got to hold the baby or nothing? And he was just like, no, they didn't let me. They said that because I've been in contact with you as well, that I have to isolate.
Yeah.
So when they were taking me back to my room, they was just like, yeah, but baby Malachi is fine. And I was like, baby Malachi? It was just like, yeah, dad named him already. I was just like, scheme? Without my consent. But you know what, like, I loved it. Like, I loved the fact that he got to name his boy. And he was just like, yeah, it just felt right. When I saw him, like, I instantly just thought of Malachi. So I was just like, okay, no problem. So obviously I had to kind of adjust, you know, to the fact that I'm not going to see my baby or hold my baby for another couple of days. So they let me go home. So he took me.
With the baby still in the incubator?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I couldn't be by myself. I had to be around family because I just had a C-section. So I needed to rest. I wasn't like allowed to do much myself. So I went to my auntie's house. So that was in South. So I was staying in South. But where I gave birth was in Basildon in Essex.
Oh, wow.
So like I had to be commuting from like Basildon to South. And
Was
South
this an
back.
everyday commute?
Yeah, but obviously after the 14 days. So anyways, going back, he had a trip booked to go Pakistan. And obviously his whole thought process was that, look, I've booked this trip. You was meant to give birth in December. So I didn't actually know you was going to have baby, premature. But seeing babies in the incubator, let me quickly go and come back. Obviously, naturally, I'm just like, I don't think you should go. You know, like, we've just had a baby. Like, yes, the baby's not out of the incubator, but I need you. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was just so in his, like, mode of hustling, that he just couldn't see past getting his goal. Do you know what I mean? So he told me that he's going to Pakistan because, you know, he does shoe cleaning.
Yeah.
Always Fresh Empire. It was doing really well, and he wanted to kind of take it to the next level. He was like thinking of like going into clothing. He had like meetings with Trapstar. You know, they got really close, and they kind of wanted to, you know, do a partnership and invest in his business. So I felt like because of that, he wanted to do so much more. He wanted to like prove himself and, you know, show that, okay, I'm trying to transition into clothing, let me go and meet the suppliers. So obviously that's what he's told me. He's like, I just want to like meet the suppliers. I was like, yeah, but you can talk to them online. Like, I don't understand why you need to go. But he said he wants to check the quality, and he has a friend that's from there. So he's going with his friend from there and stuff like that. So I knew the person. Luckily, I knew the guy who we went with, but he weren't that close to him. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, I was still skeptical because it's just like, you just don't really know him from Adams. Like, I know you're saying he's your friend, but to go to like Pakistan, it's just a bit mad, isn't it? Like, it's, I don't know, just couldn't get out of his head. Like, everyone spoke to him, his boys spoke to him, told him not to go. But like I said, Mike, he's very hard-headed. When he has like something in mind, he's gonna see it through. So me, I've just come out and I need to rest. So the last thing I'm gonna do is be arguing back and forth with you. So he's made his travels. And then obviously he's gone to Pakistan. And then the next day, I'm seeing someone blow up my line. And I'm thinking...
The next day?
He died the first day he got to Pakistan. Yeah. The first day. Like, how unlucky are you, like, to die the first day? It hasn't even been...
God.
I know. Do you know what? It's like, grief is just so crazy because you go through a roller coaster. I was angry. Like, I was angry. Then I felt guilty for being angry at somebody that's passed away. Then I was sad. So, obviously, I saw someone blowing up my line. And it was like the Omar guy, because he had my number.
The guy that he knew
He went,
from there.
yeah, he went with, he said that he's going to take him, he'll take him to his family home and things like that. So I didn't see the missed calls, but then his wife called me and I just picked up, and then she was just like, she was hysterical on the phone. Like, she wasn't even getting her words out. And I was just like, what's wrong? Like, it's still, I don't know. I still didn't even register that something even happened. Like, I'm just like, I don't understand why you're so emotional. Like, she was just like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm like, you're so sorry about what? And she was just like, he's in a coma, he's in a coma. And I was just like, who's in a coma? And she was just like, Martin, he's in a coma. So I was just like, what? And she was just like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But the way she was saying, I'm so sorry, it was almost like she knew he was like dead, but she just said he was in a coma. So obviously, I just put down the phone and started screaming. And then obviously all my family rushed to me and it was like, what's wrong? And I told them he's in a coma. And like, everyone was just trying to it's like my family was still trying to be calm because you're hearing coma, so you're thinking, okay, maybe like
You can come out of it.
you can come out of
Yeah.
this. Like, let's just try and like figure out what the next steps are. So obviously, naturally, gonna call his mum, gonna call his family, let them know what's going on. Everyone's telling me it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. And I don't know, maybe because I had a child with him that I had so much faith, and I was just like praying to God, like, let him be alright, let him come out of this coma and things like that. His family went out to Pakistan. When we was talking to like one of the doctors told his friend that, like, I'm so sorry, like, he's gone. But no one believed it, and because the person that he went out with was saying, no, we're still trying to fight. The guy that he left with was saying that, no, don't listen to them. Like, we're still in the hospital. We're trying to figure it out. Like, you know, they're trying to run tests and see what they can do. It was one of them ones that he made us still hopeful, even though somebody has spoken to one of his friends and told him, I'm so sorry. But it's almost like we just didn't want to believe that. So we're still holding on to hope, right? Yeah, there was one day that my dad came round and he received a call from one of Martin's friends, and then he was just like, he put it on loudspeaker. He was like, yeah, I'm here with Dammy, what's going on? And then the friend was like, oh, can you leave the room? When he said that, I just knew. Like, I just knew. So I was so anxious. I was like, why does my dad need to leave the room? Like, I don't understand. Why does he need to leave the room? So, like, I was like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? So my dad's left the room. He's come back. And when he came back, his eyes were red. So I could tell he's been crying. And I just knew instantly. When I say, like, I cried like it was a Nollywood movie. Like, you know how you see them aunties crying? Like, it was so dramatic, but that's literally the emotions that run through you when you find out. When I say all of us, the whole family was crying. Like, we were just there, like, huddled together crying. I just couldn't believe that my best friend, I just saw you. I was just on the phone to you. Like, we just had a baby. What do you mean you're dead? Like, um, we got that call and I was just in disbelief. I need a minute.
Yeah, no, take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
I'm so sorry because it's like, I'm not one of those people that come out like on camera and like cry on a camera. So,
But this is a very, very heavy and devastating situation. So, I mean, I don't know even how you would talk about it without crying.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? So, definitely take your time. Like I said, we're going at your pace. This is not a quick thing to get through. Do you know what I mean? It's very.
Okay. All right, well.
Do you want the water?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. What actually happened? We're going to take it back to obviously him going to Pakistan. And obviously you got the call, but what actually happened in that resulted to him passing away?
So all we can go off was the fact that he was snapping. Like, we saw a snap, he looked okay. You know, he was mingling with the people that he was with. But from what I've heard when I spoke to the friend, he's had he's had an argument with someone because he lost his phone. He thought one of them had stolen it, and apparently ended up being at the airport. So he got a call from the airport saying that we found your phone, you know, you can come and pick it up. So my assumption is that because of, I know Martin, he's a hothead. When he has an argument with you, he can go all the way. So he might have offended them. They're probably seeing it as, you've come into my country and you think you could talk to me like that. So I feel like because of that, things have obviously gone left, and, you know, everyone's guess is just as good as ours. Like, obviously, we know that there's been some foul play, you know, he didn't just, their story is that he fell off a mountain or cliff, whatever. But we're just like, why was he even, how does he go
get to the cliff?
to a cliff? Do you know what I mean? So obviously they told us that he just got out of the car and started running. But he's not a madman. You're not just gonna get out of the car and start running if he doesn't suspect like foul play. Do you know what I mean? So obviously when they done their autopsy, they tried to say that the conclusion showed that he fell off and that's the cause of the death. But we just know there's more to it, because when they showed us a video of him, his clothes didn't look like somebody who's like tumbled down a cliff. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was very much intact. You would just see like scarves and I don't know.
So you don't
rocks
believe that
and all of that
story?
stuff. Yeah, at all. But they kind of strong-armed us in terms of, they was just like, in order for you to get the body back, you have to sign that the results from our autopsy is the one that you're going to go by, that even if you go and do another one elsewhere, you can't come back and persecute anyone.
What?
And they weren't going to release the body until the mum signed for that.
Who wasn't going to release the body? The Pakistan?
The authorities, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
But what can we do? That, like, they weren't going to release the body, and at this point, his body had been there for ages. Like, we did not get this body back. I'm talking about like 2-3 months have gone and we still haven't received the body. It was crazy. It was crazy, because don't forget, it's at the height of COVID as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of things, like flights weren't really going out like that, and you know, everything was just delayed.
That's very strange that they've stipulated that you have to accept that's their autopsy in order to get the body.
Yeah.
And you can't fight it. Wow.
And that's, like I said, like, you know, you go through a roller coaster of emotions. A part of it is just like, but you two, why did you go there? Do you get what I'm saying? Why did you go somewhere where we can't even like fight your case? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you put us in a situation that we can't really investigate. Yeah. And even if we did, how far can we even go with it?
Yeah. So even though you weren't allowed to come back and persecute anyone, which is strange in itself for them to say, even if you do another autopsy, you can't persecute us if you find, which obviously is an indication of foul play. Did you actually do an autopsy?
The mum did. But he's not from London originally. He's from Austria, so the body went back to Austria.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that where he's buried?
That's where he's buried, and I never got to go to the funeral or nothing.
What? Why?
Because, like, again, it was the height of COVID, so when I booked a flight, it got cancelled. Oh. That still fucks with my brain to this day, that I never got closure. Like, I never got to see him buried. Because of that, I'm never really going to be okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't get to see him off. So the last that I saw was when he came to see me before he left.
I'm so sorry, Edith.
Thanks, babe.
Have you gone to Austria, to his burial site?
I haven't, and I just feel like I don't think I'm ready. Because I was robbed from seeing him, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, well, now I'm going to go there and see him in the ground. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I'm just not ready for that. But I will take my son.
Yeah.
I will take my son.
Wow.
Eventually.
So you were at home one day, you start seeing blood, you go to the hospital, emergency C-section, COVID, can't see your child, and then the father of your child sees him, was it once? And then dies on the first day of his travels.
And by the way, that was a week later of me giving birth. Yeah.
What was going through your mind? Like, how did you handle this?
I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to grief, it's a funny thing. Like, it was very, very emotional. Like, you don't have the time for anything else. Like, I didn't even have the time to heal. Do you know what I mean? Like, it literally just takes over. But my mind was actually going crazy, and I'm normally like very destructive when I grieve. But I guess what saved me was having people around. Like for the first time, I had everyone around, like family, like nobody was leaving me alone. Even though I wanted to be alone. I wanted to, if it meant being destructive, let me be destructive. Like I just wanted to be alone, but they didn't. They bombarded me with so much love. And I'm not gonna lie, when you're going through something like that, that's what you need.
Yeah.
That's actually what saved me. That holding on to my faith, like for the first time, I didn't even question God. Like, it's crazy, like, because normally when I go through something hurtful, I'm always quick to be like, God, why would you let this happen to me? But for the first time, I said, I'm actually going to hold on to my faith, because if I don't start to see that there must have been a reason for me going through this, then I'm going to lose my mind. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I started reading the Bible. I started seeing that, you know, everybody goes through tests, everybody goes through hardship, like everyone goes through trials and tribulations, and you know, the road is not easy for God's soldiers.
Yeah.
And I really learned to find comfort in that.
Yeah. It's been a while since this has happened. It's been like nearly 4 years now.
Yeah.
And obviously, understandably, it's taken you a while to talk about this. Why now?
I feel like, one, you need to get to a point where you don't get emotional when you're talking about it, but clearly
I don't think I don't know if you get to that point, and maybe it'll just get a bit easier.
It will just get a bit easier.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had to deal with how I was feeling, deal with my emotions, you know, before I spoke about it. Because a lot of people did approach me, but I just wasn't ready. You definitely need to be ready for that and in your own time. And also, I felt like when you speak about something that's so traumatic for you, the last thing you want is to invite negativity into that space.
Yeah.
So I felt like if I talk about it, it's subject to people's opinions. Mm-hmm. And if it's negative, I can just go crazy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I just felt like I was running from that as well.
Speaking of like negativity, what was the response from people in regards to Martin's passing on social media?
So initially, everybody was very much supportive. Everyone was very much like, wait, what? What the fuck? Like, how? Because obviously, like, we had such a big presence on, like, social media where people know us as a couple. So, one, they're even just like, wait, you had a baby? Because I kept that from socials. Yeah. I didn't show anyone that I was pregnant. And two was just like, and now he's gone. Like, so it was definitely confusing, but I felt like the community really came through for me. You know, people would send me stuff, you know, come and visit me and things like that. So I really felt like as a community, people were really there and supportive. I took a long time away from social media, like up to a year. Yeah. And then when I came back because you have to pay for bills. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you have to go back. Nothing stops. The world don't stop just because you're grieving. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I felt like the only way for me to kind of come back into the world is by showing them that, look, I'm taking on bookings now. I'm ready to, you know, get back into the swing of things, blah, blah, blah. Because I didn't really want people to feel sorry for me at the same time. So I started to just... Do you know what? I actually came back out onto social media on my birthday just to kind of show people that proof of life. Yeah. I'm here. I'm okay. You know, still like surviving and stuff like that. So when I started coming back onto social media, I started taking on clients and stuff like that. It was very hard to transition into it because obviously people are awkward as well. When they see you just like, oh, I'm so sorry. How are you feeling and stuff like that. So I had to like deal with my emotions, like, you know, meeting people and them wanting to talk about it and stuff like that. Obviously, they all respected if I didn't want to talk about it. But it got to a point where I kind of made my work and going out not a safe place, but a hiding place. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
no, of course, yeah.
To kind of get back into the swing of things and not go back to that sunken state that I was in, I started being out a bit more because I realised that, okay, cool, when I go out, I feel okay for when I'm out. You know, sometimes having other people's situations or even just being around people or partying helped temporarily, of course, but it helped me to just, all right, I can go on another day and another day and another day. So I felt like because of that, you can get carried away with that. And again, from the people looking outside, because I didn't come online and show my pain, it's almost like it's a big jump for them. 1 minute, I went through something like that. The next minute, I seem like I'm okay. Do you know what I'm saying? So I felt like that led people to feel like, well, she seems like she's okay. So that's when the negativity started coming out. And that's when people started making rumours. Do you know what I mean? One rumours about what happened. Next thing you know, rumours about why I hid my pregnancy. You know, I've heard so much. Like, I've heard so much negative rumours, and I'm just like, wow, like, where is all of this coming from? Like, it takes for me to look like I'm okay for people to feel like,
now it's time for me to jump on.
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, have something negative to say.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, what happened to me is not a joke. It's not something to be, like, laughed about. I would never wish that on my worst enemy. I would never wish that on anyone. Do you know what I mean? So to kind of ridicule it and make false accusations just so you guys can have something to say in regards to the matter was just sad, like, and very disappointing.
Do you mind sharing some of the rumours that you heard?
Okay, so I heard things like, oh, you know, I hid the pregnancy because Martin didn't believe it was his. How? I lived with the guy. How could it not have been his? Like, it just doesn't even make any sense. Because they made a GoFundMe. I've heard things like, oh, you know, like, she stole GoFundMe money to fund my lifestyle. And it's just like,
But you work so hard.
this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand when I'm putting out that I'm working up early morning.
Like, you're literally up
and
at 4 a.m.
Do you think that that's a joke? Like, do you think that they give me £1 for that? I don't understand. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So it's just funny to me when people like make up all of these noise just because, you know, he's not here. And I just feel like it's really sad because let him have a legacy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let him leave with like nice memories.
So you said earlier that obviously like grief isn't linear. Like 1 minute you're angry, 1 minute you're sad and stuff. Like, so what have the last 4 years been for you in terms of like your grief journey?
To this day, I still feel like sometimes I get angry, then sometimes I get sad, then sometimes I'm guilty, you know, and it's definitely had an effect on me that sometimes I just have my down days, like, for no reason. There'll be no reason at all, and I'm just down. And I guess that's just normal. I'll be honest, I made a lot of mistakes. Like, grieving can make you do things or have certain relationships or invite certain people that don't need to be in your space because you feel very low. So whether that's friendships or relationships, it can make you invite people that are not meant to be there. Like, I've had situations where people just wanted to be my friend because of what I went through, just so they can be like, I was there, like, I know everything. She, you know, I was there even helping her out and doing this and doing that. So it's a shame that people kind of wanted to form a relationship from negativity. Do you know what I mean?
Has your perspective in life changed now after everything that you've gone through? I would assume it has, but...
Yeah, like, I just think make every second count. Like, every part of my day has to be intentional. And I also feel like what I went through is for me to help others. I even do like a healing event. It's called In Her Healing Era. And that's just to inspire others that, you know, we're all going through it one way or the other. So let's heal together, because a lot of healing needs to be done. Like, also, I try to incorporate like God into it as well, because I know that that's what worked for me. So anyway, I can help someone on their journey, then I feel like I'm doing my part.
Have you spoken to your son about it?
You know what I do? Like, I'll say that, oh, what's your daddy's name? He'll be like, Martin Oyaro. I'm like, good. I'll be like, oh, where's daddy? He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, he's in heaven. And he's like, oh, he's in heaven? I was like, yeah, the sky. And, you know, he'll just repeat it, but I don't know if he truly takes it in. but he knows his dad's name, and you know, I always just kind of like, you know, tell him just so he can get used to the idea.
Yeah.
But it's so sad because it's just like Martin's sister and her husband. That's like the closest thing he has to like a family unit. So he actually does call them mum and dad. And at first I used to feel like, well, you're not his mum and dad. But I've thought, you know what, if that's the closest thing he's gonna like get to having like, you know, a family foundation, that when he goes to school and people are talking about mum and dads, if it means him not getting upset because he's experienced that, then
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And so be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm just so sorry that you've had to go through all of this, but you're clear. You're the strongest person I know, because hearing all of this, I don't think I would have survived. Like, honestly, and obviously you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we spoke the other day on Snapchat.
I know where this is going, girl.
We spoke the other day. We spoke about how bleak the dating market is.
It's treacherous.
It is so. What's going on? It's so bad.
I don't know. I just feel like the men are not men in.
Yeah, they're not men in.
They're not men
It's giving
in.
princess.
It is.
It's giving
It's
princess.
sass.
What is going on? The testosterone levels are a bit off, innit? But yeah, so like, what has dating been like after while grieving or after experiencing something so traumatic?
It's been hit and miss. Like, you know, I feel like at first I invited anything in, you know, but now it's like the guys that are left, I don't know if they're ready. I don't know if they're really like ready to kind of have a relationship. And I also just feel like anyone who kind of deals with me has to be empathetic.
Yeah, of
and
course.
I don't need sympathy, but I just need someone who's understanding. And it takes a lot to kind of understand me. Like, I am going to have my down days, but I'm somebody that doesn't let my down days affect others. Do you know what I mean? So just like let me be, and then we can go on.
Yeah.
So I feel like I haven't yet met somebody who kind of like understands that fully. But at the same time, I am open to dating. But I just feel like everyone's got a girl, really. Everyone's got a girl, everyone's got a wife, and don't mix me, please. I'm not trying to be in no trouble. Yeah.
So are you, if someone does come along that is understanding and empathetic and kind of like caters to everything you need, are you ready for love again?
Yeah. And they have to like accept my son.
Of course.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you would say to anybody that is like, has lost their significant other or going through some sort of grief? What advice would you give to them?
I would just say time is the best healer, and I know that sounds cliche, but it's a saying for a reason. Like, you just have to get through it, but don't get through it alone. Just make sure you're around people that love you, because they're the ones who's gonna remind you of why your life is worth living. Incorporate God if you can. Do you know what I mean? That also helps. And yeah, just try and never use your situation as a stumbling block. Like, use it as motivation.
Yeah.
Try and make whoever it is that you've lost proud.
Yeah.
And that's how I try to live my life.
I tell you all the time, you're glowing, you're radiating, you're shining, you're on top.
Thank you, babe.
Where do you get your strength?
My son, and God, obviously. Yeah, my son, definitely. Like, when I look at him, I'm just like, you're just so cute.
He's too cute.
Like, you deserve the best life.
No,
like,
he is too
don't worry, I'm
cute.
going to be the best mum that you can be. I'm going to be out here showing them that, look at Mama Kai. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and plus, like, I'm just like, ugh, I can't carry last as well. Like, that's my motto. I'm never going to carry last. There's no way. Where everybody is, I'm going to be there.
No,
like,
never. Yeah, never.
So,
and obviously, like, you have a lot of followers, like, you're a lifestyle mammy. Like, are you an influencer? Like, is that something that you want to... I guess you do it already, but maybe get into full time as well as, you know, your MUA and your classes that you do.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm an influencer, but the streets be knowing who I
Yeah.
am. Like, do you know what I mean?
You're
Like,
an influencer, for
yeah.
sure.
But I feel like people don't want to give me the followings like I'm an influencer.
Yeah, but you know what? You are an influencer, but I feel like you're not doing it like pushing it as much as you could do.
That's true.
So maybe if you're pushing it a bit more, then you'll kind of like...
That's true.
Because it seems like you just do it like, this is me,
Yeah.
as opposed to, oh yeah, guys, get this outfit sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? Like, I've just been somebody that likes to do lifestyle with my friends, and then I just showcase it. But it just generated like, I don't know. It generated like people coming to watch me and my girls and stuff like that. So it's not like like you said, I intentionally tried to be an influencer. It kind of just goes hand in hand with what I do. But I also feel like if I became an influencer, it's a bit more forced now. Now it's like action and seen. And I feel like I'm not saying that people are fake when they do it, but it's almost like you kind of have to adopt some sort of level of and seen. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, that's just when it becomes a chore for me. I like to just do it and it's just smooth and it's genuine and it's raw and authentic. So if it means me just being the street influencer for now, then so be it. You know, people are always asking me about, oh, like, where is this that you're going to? What venue is that? Or like, how did you guys do this? And, you know, where did you get your outfits from? And you know what? I just enjoy looking good. I just enjoy having fun with my girls. Like, we just try to be lit anytime we can, innit? So,
period. So before we wrap up, Edith has an event on the 28th of July. Yes, called In Her Bag.
Yeah.
And I will be hosting, so make sure that you're there. Okay. But yes, thank you so much for joining me, Bad Babes. Obviously, it was a really moving interview and things like that. How are you feeling? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, you good?
I'm fine. I'm good. Like,
you look good.
Thank you. So do you. We got through it, girl.
Yeah, we got through it, girl. While makeup is still intact.
I know.
So
I know. We
did
tried.
it.
We tried.
It.
High five.
But yes, thank you guys for watching Off the Record. It was an amazing interview. Make sure you guys check out Edith Williams online and be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, guys. Bye.